We talk a lot about urges, and I like to think of urges as what I call junk neural pathways. Urges are, we have some really healthy urges, like urges to brush our teeth first thing in the morning, an urge to use my right signal if I'm going right. These are just neural pathways that we've developed over time that are really useful and oftentimes life-saving or life-giving. So urges are an important thing, but we also have urges that are really destructive. Like when you think about the urge an alcoholic has to drink. And they talk about this physical urge that they're having, and yet they know intellectually with their executive functioning that they drink, things are going to get worse. You know that about if you're a binger, a purger, if you know you restrict food and Ed is telling you you're fat and yet everybody else around you is telling you you're not. So I wanted to just talk a little more about urges today. Urges, when you think of them as junk neural pathways, think of like a freeway, like the I-10. So if we have the I-10 from Banning and Beaumont all the way to Blythe, and we get on it, we can go down that neural pathway of the I-10 really easily. But let's say we just leave that alone, and we leave it alone for about 10 years. What's going to happen in 10 years out in this desert? It's probably going to get covered in sand and tumbleweeds, and it won't be so easy to drive down. We'll probably have to have some heavy equipment in, but we can reopen that neural pathway. So that's why people who are recovered from an eating disorder or an addiction sometimes reopen those neural pathways. And that's what urges are, just these junk neural pathways. Now, if you leave the I-10 alone for 50 years, you're probably going to have to create a new highway. Heavy equipment, there'll be too many potholes and whatnot, and they just have to redo that. So the longer we leave a neural pathway alone and we don't participate in it, the more likely it is to kind of go away. So we want to talk about surfing the urge. And one way that you can surf the urge is to just distract yourself or tell yourself, I'm going to come back to that purge. I'm going to do that purge, but I'm going to wait 10 minutes. Or I'm going to use Ex-Lax and I'm going to wait 10 minutes. Or I'm going to binge, but I'm going to wait 10 minutes. Or you know you're full with dinner and you've been trying to eat mindfully, but just wait 10 minutes. And you'll notice that that urge begins to go away. Urges are things that you might say to yourself like, I can't have chocolate. And so you'll tell yourself, well, I can't have chocolate, I have to wait. Notice if you tell yourself you can't do something, first of all, the little rebel in you probably wants to do it, right? But second of all, you are actually literally going down that neural pathway then. Telling yourself you are going to or aren't going to is still opening the neural pathway. So try to distract. A lot of people just like to journal. You guys have journals, so use your journal. Just write about something else. Go pet your dog. That's why we have Lulu here in the office. Another activity that people like to do a lot is we talk about getting on the scale and body checking. You guys hopefully have given me your scale because you know that these don't help us. And body checking is something what people with anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa frequently want to do. So if you have an urge to body check, again, just distract yourself with something healthy. Call a friend, read a book, go on the internet and look at funny animal videos or something like that. But the key to remember, every time we act or focus on a binge, we reinforce it. So you want to go with that alternative activity.